Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Some people might know who Dark Synevyr is, some people might not. It is a very small publishing company from what I can understand, and they did release these decks. Some of them you may have seen on other channels, some of them you may have not. They are not I haven't seen them a whole heck of a lot on things, so I figured I would just kind of show them and flip through them, talk about them, point things out about them, and just, take a peek. And I'm just going to work right across here in no particular order. I'm just going to start with Four Worlds Tarot, and then I'm going to go into Witch Folk, which is very popular. A lot of people have seen this one, the Botanica Occulta, and then the Vivid Spirit Tarot. So I have flipped through these, I've checked them out, just, seen what they were all about, what they were kind of, the card stock, different things like that. The one thing that I can say is right off the get-go, every single one of these decks came in not in order. So I had to sort through them all, every single one, and put them back into order just to make sure that I had the right amount of cards, as well as nothing was missing or doubled and something was missing, right? So I just wanted to make sure about all of that. So that took up some time. Some people won't like that, but honestly, I didn't really care. I just kind of threw on a movie and sat and sorted them, and they were all here. Everything was perfectly fine. The books are in English and in Russian. Uh, well written. Like I didn't have any. I read over the stuff. I thought they were kind of cool. They definitely stuck with like the themes or the energies of the decks, which I thought was pretty cool. For the most part, they are pretty rider weight based, so they should be fine for beginners. And you have a book anyways, right? So it's just a little normal book, like nothing crazy about it. This one came on a really nice, let's see if I can show you. I don't know if it'll pick up. It's on a really nice linen cardstock. Very thin, very flexible, really nice. This is the only one out of the 4 decks that came with this cardstock. The rest of them came with just like a basic cardstock. The Witch's Tarot, the Folk Witch Tarot, this one right here. This one usually comes in this linen cardstock that this one's in, but this is a first edition, so it doesn't. This is the very first run of this deck. It has just a basic, you know, cardstock with it. All right, now, backs, pretty cool, right? Straightforward, very simple, reversible for the most part, like it's pretty good. The only thing is the constellations are a little bit different. So if you do it reverse, like they're different, right? So that's why I said pretty much reversible, but there is a little bit of difference. So now the artwork on this deck is gorgeous. It's very watercolory, kind of comic book, almost anime-ish looking. It's beautiful. It's very detailed. I'm sorry, I'm going to try to avoid the glare up the top. I'm going to move down a little bit. The light is very bright up above, and I had to put tons of lights on today because it's so overcast that I had no choice. So there's going to be like weird shadows, and there's going to be, different things. Like my spiders look like they have like a million different legs. Like it's funny. Um, I don't know. I really like it. There are mistakes throughout these decks. Um, this one in particular. However, the energy that are behind these decks is really quite amazing. So I feel like even though there is some very amateur mistakes, I feel like it can be overlooked because of how awesome the energy is to these decks. They have an amazing energy to them. So, and I don't even know if they're a mistake. They might not be a mistake, but to me, these two right here are the mistake. So, this is the High Priestess, this is the Empress. Empress, sorry. They should be reversed. So I really honestly feel that these titles are on the wrong cards. So I'm just going to, because I read a lot with image, I'm just going to read this as the High Priestess and this as the Empress, and that'll be it. And I won't even think twice about it. But that is the problem in this deck, and I don't even know if it is, but I feel that it was a mistake. Now, with that said, this is an absolutely gorgeous Empress card, and this is an absolutely gorgeous High Priestess. So, you know what I mean? Like, does it matter? I don't feel like it does, but some people, that might bother some people. And I'm not going to flip through every single card. I feel that there's been walkthroughs done on this deck. Maybe there hasn't been, but it's really, I don't know how to explain. I don't want to say it's a dark energy, but it's like a very dark fae energy. Like it's, I don't know. It's amazing. I'm really actually quite excited to get down and work with this. And like the artwork is phenomenal. This is such a beautiful deck, right? Like, and if I remember correctly, I'm just gonna kind of skip through. These two, I'll spend a couple minutes on this. These two kind of feel like they don't fit. There's something about the drawing style of this that to me is very different than that, but I still think it's a really cool sun and moon card. It's very interesting. I like it. I'm good with it, even though it does feel a little bit different. I'm just going to kind of flip through all this fast because I wanted to show you there are 2 extra cards. So these are the 2 extra. I haven't read into the book to see what they do or what they're about. I have not gotten that far yet. This is very much like I said, I open them, I organize them, check them out a little bit, a little bit in the book about them, and then decided I was just going to do this. So the cups are mermaids. So they're all mer-based, aquatic-y fairies. I don't even know if aquatic-y, if that was the right word, but aquatic-like figures, fairies. So really cool. And then we get into the pentacles. So, and this is what I mean, like it's kind of like dark fairy side, right? It's kind of dark fae energy, which I think is really cool. I don't know what I'm looking at. Like I feel like these are like cave dwelling, like under the ground fairies, and I don't even know what you call them. And I guess maybe in the book it says, but they have like big horns. Look at that one with the crystals. Cool, eh? And they're very like kind of creepy looking with like these creepy like slug like worm creatures, which is really cool. But yeah, so like it has a very dark underground energy to it. And I think that's like which makes sense with the pentacles, right? That earthly under the ground earthly energy, right? That makes sense. And we've got wands, which are going into our dragons. And that's why some of these kind of look dragony, but this is the dragon suit. So the wands is the fairies that have the dragons. They're the dragon energy fairies. Some of them are flying, some of them have wings. Like beautiful artwork, eh? Like absolutely stunning artwork. I really like the energy coming from this deck. And then here's the swords. And they're always like up in the mountains or up in the trees, like with the leaves around it. Very fall, like November-y, like a late fall feel. And like the reds and the blues, like they're so bright with this grayscale background. Beautiful. So I don't know, besides that one mistake where I feel like the cards have been reversed, these two, like amazing energy, like such a dark, interesting fae energy. I'm really looking forward to working with this deck. And it's funny because I don't really work a lot with fae energy. When I was younger, totally was into fairies. Had a bunch of Brian Froud books and stuff like that. One of my very first oracles I bought was very fairy-based, nature-based deck. So like it made I don't know, it worked for me back then. But now I don't really have a lot of fairy decks. Like I could literally count on one hand how many fairy decks I have. And two of these decks that showed up are fairy based, including I ended up getting gifted a used copy of the Brian Froud The Fairies Oracle. So that was another one that came in at the exact same time. And then the Tarot of the She got gifted to me as well. So that is literally four Fae decks just this week. And I I don't work with Fae energy. So I think I'm obviously need to start working with Fae energy. Um, but yeah, really, really different. I don't know. And it was funny because I was being really drawn to Fae energy and I was like, well, I don't even really have any Fae decks. And then all of a sudden, four Fae decks showed up. And they were just really weird circumstances. And I was like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. Fae energy. And it's funny because I'm trying to work with my Halloween decks. I'm trying to, this is October, as you can see, with the spiders and the, Halloween decor. Um, I'm trying to work with my Halloween based decks. And I can't because I keep getting called into these fairy decks. So I really honestly feel that November is going to be all Fae energy, and I'm just going to be working with Fae decks. Um, I don't know. A lot of people work with Fae energy in the spring, but I'm getting really pulled into it for the fall energy. So I feel like fall energy kind of goes with Fae for some reason. All right, so I'm not going to flip through this. Everyone has seen this card or this deck. Um, amazing. Amazing deck. I really like the energy off of it. I know a lot of people don't like that everything single card says Folk Witch. Sure. If you eliminated that, the borders, I wish these eyeballs, like the eyeball border was here, and then this picture was twice like bigger, right? It would make things a lot easier that way. But overall, I don't know. I don't have any problems with it. I really like it. It reads really cool. It's a really like that dark European, um, I don't even know how to explain it. Like just such a it's got a dark energy to it. It definitely does, but not bad. Just old, an old dark energy to it. And I feel like it's foreign. Like it's a foreign energy. It's foreign to me. I really like this deck and I'm really excited to work with this. I'm going to start. This one's not in order because I immediately started working with it. I think it's really cool. Backs, cool. Nothing wrong with them. Very straightforward, super simple. I wanted this deck really, really bad. But the problem I was having with this deck is that there's so many pirated copies of this deck that I had no idea who to buy it from because I will not buy pirated copies. I don't care how much of a savings it is. I don't care what it is. I will not buy a pirated copy. So that's why I did not buy this deck because I had no idea where to get it from because it's just there's been so many pirated copies of it, right? So I didn't know what to do. And so I didn't do anything at all. I feel that this was gifted to me. I'm hoping the person that gifted this to me did the research on this and this is the proper artist and the proper person this should have been purchased off of. So hopefully it is. I'm thinking it is. So yeah, but I got a first edition Witch Folk Tarot. So I don't know. I'm pumped about that. All right, let's take a closer look at the Vivid Spirit Tarot. This is different, very different. It's not going to be for everybody. It is definitely not going to be everybody's cup of tea, 100%. But the booklets are all the same. They're very interesting. They've got, you know, different things in them. The one thing I noticed about them is that they put extra cards into their decks, about two. So that's pretty interesting. This one has Wind and Spirit. So when I look at this deck, I feel like I'm looking at like ghost fairies, if that makes any sense to anybody. Um, Really a thin cardstock, very thin. You're either gonna love it or hate it. Kind of, I meant to get out my Deviant Moon to see if it's similar cardstock than that. Um, I have no idea the wear and tear on this, if this is gonna hold up. It's very bendy, very flexible, very thin. If you don't like thin cardstock, these are not for you, because all of these decks besides the Four Worlds is very thin cardstock. And the Four Worlds is thin cardstock too. It's just it's that linen feel, right? So it makes it feel like it has a little bit more durability to it. But I don't know. I've heard some things about that linen cardstock not being so durable, so I'm not really sure. But this is a strange one. I feel like these are like air fairies or like ghost fairies, or I don't know how I feel about it. Um, it has a very unique energy. It kind of activates my third eye, and I'm going to say it's because of all of this, right? All of the indigo and the blues and stuff. I don't know. I can see people not really liking this style of art. It's not, like I said, it's not for everybody, but like there's some cool cards in this deck. I'm gonna work with it. I'm kind of excited to work with it. I don't know. It's so like, look at that moon. I feel like here's the backs. I don't know. I feel like they're ghost fairies. Like, I don't even know how else, and that sounds so silly, but like I don't know how else to describe them. Here's the two extra cards. They're definitely like fairies or like goblins. Like, I don't know. And I guess I could maybe look at the book. Like, maybe the book would say. Let's take a quick look and see if this says anything in the book. But I don't think it does. It's just called Vivid Spirit. And it doesn't say what they are. So I don't know. But once again, rider weight based, right? For the most part. So beginner friendly, as well as it has that little book, right? But it's such a beautiful, like these blues is just like, and greens. I don't know. There's something so, like the color palette attracts me. I think it's really neat. So I don't know. I'm excited to, I'm excited to work with it. I do. I'm really excited. This card's weird because it makes me think like they're all wearing like jail suits, like going to jail, like people who are in jail, right? And they're wearing their stripes. It's like that to me. I don't know. Interesting. Just so bright. Yeah, that's the Vivid Spirit Tarot. Really cool energy though. I really, I really like the energy. And I know like a lot of people would not like this style. They won't like the tarot, like they won't like these cardstock. They won't like the artwork. They might find it too amateur looking, right? But I don't know, the energy behind these decks are really quite something. So I'm looking forward to working with it. I really am. All right, the next one here is this Botanica Oculta Tarot. Here's the backs. So when I was organizing this and flipping through it, I think this deck is really honestly quite beautiful. And she gives you the different, like what the plant is, right? The pomegranate. It has a very like antique-y, like an antique botanical print feel to it, which is really cool. So this is, I think this is supposed to say the peony, and it says Paeony, whereas we spell peony P, like no A in it, but it could just be from translation, right? Like I'm not really sure. So there might be a little bit of spelling mistakes. Like I didn't get into it that far and start checking like labels and if they're spelled correctly and things that seem to be numbered correctly. But like, look how beautiful they are. Once again, the same cardstock that the Vivid Spirit's on. So very thin, flexible cardstock. They're glossy, as you can see, but they're not like staring at glass. I feel like there's a lot of thought been put in behind these. Look, I really do. Like all these decks, I feel like a lot of thought has been put into them. And they're beautiful. Like this botanical deck is gorgeous. So this kind of threw me off. But I mean, like I haven't researched it and looked far into it, but to me this looks like a passion flower and it says the fig. So I don't think the passion flower vine produces figs. I might be wrong though. I'm not sure. But that was kind of weird to me that there's a passion flower, but it says figs, right? And then obviously right here is like what kind of like a fig look, right? So, and I think this is the only one that has an animal in it. We have some bees. Oh, so beautiful. Queen of the Night. Sunflower. The poppy is Judgment. The world is Cosmos. Like, that's beautiful. And then the extra cards, we've got Destiny and the Paladin. I do not know what these stand for. I have not looked them. I did not look them up in the book. And then we just go into different stuff. Now, I feel she's either used flowers that have the same structure and like look to them, or she's used the same genus but different species. And I should have looked that up before I started doing it, because if she used the same genus but different species, that's brilliant. And I don't know that I know of any botanical deck that has done that, where it has used the same genus but different species. And if you don't know what that means, I'm sorry. It's it's like horticulture stuff, right? And like botany stuff. But I feel like that's kind of what she did. And I have to look up to see if these are all from the same genus and just different species, which would be really interesting. Because I know the bindweed is related to the morning glories, and I don't know. I need to look it up and see. Because if she did, the creator, whoever did this deck, if they did do that, that's pretty in depth and that's pretty detailed and that's pretty interesting. And I do know, like, she's got Ace of Cups, the periwinkle, this one, the periwinkle, the herbaceous periwinkle, the Orlander, the dwarfed periwinkle, the star jasmine, belladonna, the metal flowers, periwinkle vine, like big leaf periwinkle. It seems like she's used, like I said, the same genus, Madagascar periwinkle, blue periwinkle. Yeah, like I feel she's used the same genus but different species, which is crazy cool. So your cups are the periwinkle family, I'm assuming. And then maybe she just threw in like extras. Like I don't know if Orlander is and Star Jasmine if they're part of the periwinkle family. But if they're not, they have the same flower shapes, right? So I'm thinking they are. I need to research that. I need to look that up. And I should have did so before I did this video, but I didn't. So these are all the vetches, which is really interesting. And there's tons of different vetches. So this is the crow vetch, is your ace of swords, your purple vetch, your knapweed, which is a form of vetch. I do not know this name, but that is a very vetch looking plant. Scorpion vetch. The sweet clovers, I don't know about that one. The vetches, I have a feeling that's what she's done. And if that's what this creator has done, it's brilliant. Milk vetch, the Del Rey. And if you don't know what vetches are a very wild plant that could become very invasive, but yet the flowers are beautiful. We have a lot of native vetches where I live, and I don't know, I think they're beautiful, but they can be very aggressive and they can choke things out and grow like crazy through your garden. So a lot of people frown upon the vetches because they are such a hardy, durable, aggressive plant, right? So I can see that is an excellent sword. Like to put the vetches as swords, that makes so much sense. Um, this is the wands, which she has chosen willow. And it seems like she's paired the willow with different flowers in this. So it's kind of going a different direction than these ones. But so we've got the daffodil and the willow. You know, the air, I can never say it right. The Aramantha, and the willow. I do not even know what this is. The Casula octava. And like that's the thing, she seems to be using like the actual like scientific names for some of these, which is really cool. The crocus and the willow, the petunia and the willow, the iris and the willow. The I can't even see what that says. We might have a misprint here. Don't know what that says. If that's an SI, like the sigh in the willow, I'm not sure what that is. Let's look that up fast. Seven of Wands. Wands are at the very back. Ace of Wands. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just reading a little bit because I'm trying to figure out what I'm seeing. Yeah, so we've got it missing on here. So we've got the Cardunes, and its name's missing. I have no idea what that is. Even I can't even see if that's like an A or what that is. So there's there's a little bit of mistakes here and there, but they're not like the willow, the willow. So she's repeated it a couple times here. The daffodil and the willow, which was already used. The daffodil and the willow, which was already used. The daffodil and the willow. The daffodil and the willow. So we're getting a little bit of repetitiveness, right? But at the end of the day, I'll just see this as the fool. It doesn't matter to me that it's a sweet pea, right? The artwork is gorgeous. Your titles are correct as far as like Seven of Wands or the Fool. Your numbers are correct on top, which is good. So the majority of it's good. The only like there's only so far I've noticed one misprint, which is the Seven of Wands. But that's just in like the title or like the flower used in the picture, right? At the end of the day, the stuff that you need to know, like it's a wand and it's the Four of Wands. You know, that's all there. So I don't know. The artwork is really quite beautiful. I like it. I like the energy behind it. I haven't worked with them yet as far as doing readings with them or anything like that. But if you're, if you're really picky and your decks have to be absolutely top notch and perfect, these will not be for you. Um, but like I said, the energy behind them is magnificent. Like I really like the energy that I'm feeling behind them. So I'm excited to work with them, even with the few little minor mistakes that have been in the deck. Like, I mean, honestly, it's very minor. So I'll still work with them. And I hate these tuck boxes. Not these specifically, just tuck boxes in general. These ones are actually pretty roomy though, so I appreciate that. Um, I don't know. I like it. I really don't have any qualms with them. Like I said, other than those few little mistakes here and there, they're minor mistakes. The artwork is beautiful. Everything about these are beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull them all out of their boxes and I'm going to kind of shuffle them and lay them out and see what they look like in a spread, like out and about instead of just flipping through them, right? So let's see what they're all about. They are super slippery, like so slippery. If you're a riffle shuffler, you're going to love it. Ooh. That one, the world just jumped out. Okay, so I'm not asking anything particular, right? I just want to see what they look like laid down in a spread. I haven't even started to think about pairs for them yet. Very beautiful, hey? I like them. I really, really like this deck. I actually really like all of them, to tell you the truth. Let's look up and see what this means. I don't even know where they're at in the book. So I actually just looking fast. There's heavenly people who look like angels, demons from under the mountains, the warlike pride of the forest, and the shimmering pearls of the deep sea. So that's kind of where she's gone with it. So we've got the people, the fairies that look like angels, and from under the mountain that look like demons, the warlike pride of the forest, and then, like I said, the pearls of the deep. So beautiful. She's got a little bit of what this is all about. Okay, let's find what these extra cards are. We're not going to see them. They're at the very back. Okay, so we don't have anything on them. All right, so there's nothing on these guys. So I don't even know. I'm going to look it up on my cell phone. Give me a second. Demiurge means a being responsible for the creation of the universe. the maker or creator of the world. Interesting. Didn't know that. So that's really, really quite cool. And then we have the Seven of Wands. That is a gorgeous Seven of Wands. Look at the detail in it. This is such a beautiful deck. I really feel like if you can overlook the possibility of the High Priestess and the Empress being reversed, image wise, that little mistake, this is beautiful. I really like its energy. It feels so, and I know I keep saying that, but I work a lot with energy, and energy is a big thing to me. I've had some of the most beautiful, most popular, gorgeous decks in my hands and been like, yeah, no, I don't like its energy. This one though, I like its energy. It's so different. Like look at that Lovers card. Beautiful. I really like it. I'm really excited to work with this Four Worlds Tarot. These are phenomenal. I really like them. And they're all on sale right now. I went and checked out the site really fast after I was gifted them, and they have, I keep saying she, I don't know why, maybe it's a girl that's behind this. I keep saying she. Um, the website is having a sale right now where they're all marked down and like quite a bit. And the more you buy, the cheaper it is, right? And there's more than this. They probably have about maybe 20 to pick from. So I don't know. And I didn't even look at all of them, honestly. I didn't get the chance to really look at all of them. I just never heard of Dark Synergy, and I wanted to check them out and see what it was all about. It's hard to shuffle because they're kind of not cut. Like there's a little bit of like some of them are longer than others, so the cut isn't quite perfect. And if you look at it this way, you can see that some are higher and lower than the others. So it's kind of getting caught when you try to like riffle shuffle. So just something to be aware of. To me, it's not a big deal. They shuffle nice. They overhand nice. Riffling a little weird because some of them aren't the same length as the others. So that was a little strange. But that's this one. That other one, the first one we looked at, the Four Worlds Tarot, it didn't have that same problem. And I think that's one of their newest ones, 2021. When's this one? Nope, 2021. Well, actually, I just noticed that. So it says right here, 300 decks. So this is a first edition, 300 decks printed May 2021. Four Worlds, first edition, 500 decks, printed in November 2021. So that's cool that it says on them. Does this one? So this one doesn't have the same info, but I do know from on the website. Sorry, I was out of frame. I do know from on the website that this is the first edition. And then this one's a first edition, 300 decks printed in February 2021. I like that they put that on there. That's really cool. I like it. All right. So back to the Vivid Spirit. So not asking anything in particular. We just want to see them in action. There's that one card that I was like, meh. I don't know. Look how beautiful they are. Like Vivid Tarot is correct name for this. Like look at how bright and beautiful and vivid these are. This deck's growing on me. When I first saw it, I was like, "Ooh, this is different. I don't know how to take this." And then I just started looking at it and the energy from it, and it's growing on me, guys. Like honestly, it is. I think it's beautiful in this like weird way. I don't know. I really like it. So bright. Yeah, I don't know. Really interesting. Here's these two extra. Let's see if it says in this book if it has the yep. Oh yeah, I already showed that to you guys. Duh. All right. So, we've got spirit. So after the darkness comes the dawn. A ray of light will illuminate the face of the fortune teller, their consciousness, soul, and show the negative traits of their personality, but will give a chance to correct the situation in life and in business. Oh, that is interesting. That is cool. I don't know. I like that. This is a really neat deck. Like I said, it's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, 100%. But it's really unique and it's really different and it's really cool. All right, two more to go. Okay, let's give this one a shuffle. So this is the same where there's a little that are higher than the other. Just a little bit. So it might catch. And when I'm breaking in a deck, when I first get a deck, I always shuffle it like this, where I break it down into 4 different piles and then just, because I really want that mix up happening, right? Yeah, the unevenness is making it hard because like some catch your thumbs more than others. So that uneven cut on it might be a little troublesome for some. I really like the color palettes. Like this one has such a beautiful color palette. Let's see. Like they're stunning. I think they're so beautiful. Yeah, these dark synergy decks, they're growing on me. I I really like them. Once again, I'll say it. I really like their energy. And I don't know, I'm really enjoying them. I'm really excited to work with them. Like beautiful, eh? And like I'm thinking like as I'm looking at them, I'm trying to think like what would pair with them well and what I have in my collection that will go good with them. I don't know. Beautiful. I really like them. Totally like them 100%. All right, let's check out the last one, which I mean everyone's already kind of seen this one, but we'll do it anyways. We don't want it to feel left out. Okay, so like I said, I've already worked with this one. This is the same thing where it's a little uneven. So there's some that are higher than others. You can tell from the side. You can really see it, right? Because if you put them all together, see how nice and smooth that looks. Okay, but then you can tell, like it's, but like that's minor, right? It might bug some. It doesn't bug me. So some people might not like how dark the images are on these cards. There are a couple where the backgrounds are so dark and then what's on them is so dark that you can't see. So you can't see there's a raven here with this cat. In person, you can, but if you were in a spot that was kind of gloomy lit, there wasn't a lot of bright light happening, you would have a really hard time seeing this raven on this card. But still, like, beautiful. I love it. It's strange, it's different, it's unique. All of these decks are strange, different, and unique, and I really like that. I really appreciate that about it. I find sometimes that we just get into the same repetitive imagery, the same repetitive energy, where this is very, very different. And I really like it. It's kind of creepy too. Like I kind of like the creepiness of it. So here we've got, it's kind of hard to see. Once again, you can kind of see the wings. There's 3 birds here. And this is a King of Swords. The one bird is covering his face. You can only see like an eye and a mouth kind of open and like almost like a singing or like a yawning. Or it's a King of Swords, maybe hollering or yelling, or commanding, right? Here's our Wheel of Fortune. Everything's clear on that card for the most part. And then you have the Four of Cups, which this skeleton, like this blue skeleton, is so cool. I love the cup cards, like the cup suit, because of this skeleton. I think he's so neat. And he's in a bunch of the cup suit, right? Love this deck. I think it's so freaking cool. I really do. It's so unique and mysterious, and like it's got like a dark pagan. All of these decks have a pagan feel to them. That's the word I'm looking for. That very wild old pagan, like just tapping into a different source that we haven't really tapped into. It's really cool. I like it. Like it a lot. I'm really happy with these. I think this is fantastic. All right, so that was my Dark Synergy haul or gifting haul. I don't really know how you want to say it, but this is amazing. And like I said, their website right now is having a sale. So it's a great time to purchase these decks. There is a little bit of minor mistakes throughout all of them. I didn't find any in these 2, but there were some in these. But I honestly feel they're so minor and so trivial that they can just be overlooked. Wonderful energy, wonderful artwork, absolutely phenomenal artwork. Really, really cool stuff. I'm really excited to work with all of these. I'm excited they're here. I'm glad they're part of my collection. And I'm really looking forward to getting down and working with these. They're super neat. So, thank you for joining. Hopefully, you enjoyed yourself. If you like my video, subscribe, share, like all of that stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the lovely fall weather.